Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Patrik Juranek, founder and CEO of Startup Disrupt, and welcome to this amazing online virtual event. For some of you who maybe don't know what is a Startup Disrupt, so basically we are one of the large startup global platform where we are trying to strive entrepreneurs and technology innovators to achieve their goals and help them on their entrepreneurial journey. As well, we are trying to inspire, educate, and connect them. And it wouldn't be possible for us to organize events like this without our partners, sponsors, and people who are supporting us on this journey, like Google, Czech-In, Philip Morris, Lagardère, and many others. So we are so happy that you join us. And today, as you probably are aware, we are hosting an event with the Stripe Czech-In. But it won't be only about Czech-In, like the Czechia, Slovakia, but it will be about overall role of the Stripe in a CEE region. And for this, we are so happy and grateful that we could invite here, and our invitation accepted, the head of CEE from the Stripe, Marcin. So Marcin, welcome here.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Marcin, let's jump into it. So could you please just briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, so I'm responsible for the CEE business at Stripe. That also includes Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, and 9 other markets where we have launched so far. We are expanding very fast, and within the next few months, we will launch another market, which is Hungary. So it's a really fast-moving business and fast-moving environment, online payments. Before that, I was working at Google, where I was responsible for building partnerships with tech companies and e-commerce companies in the CEE region and in Russia. And before that, I was a strategy consultant at BCG and IT Kearney. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and before we'll proceed, I would like to as well ask all of you guys who are right now watching us, please, if you have any questions, just don't hesitate and jump on Slido. And if you use the code, as you can see below us, the SDP, like Startup Disrupt Prague, you can ask questions, and we'll try to answer all of them. So please just jump there, ask it, and me and Marcin will absolutely try to answer them. Okay, so thank you very much, Marcin, for this intro. And because of your role and experience, you know, that you were before Stripe, you were basically responsible not only for the doing business and companies only in the CEE region, but overall in EMEA region. So could you maybe in a nutshell speak about the differences in doing business in these two, let's say, regions, and maybe as well specific countries in these regions?
Yes. So overall, I see a lot of ambition and drive and entrepreneurship in CEE. We have a lot of catching up to do because we were slowed down a little bit by our history. But now I see this explosive growth and hunger in the positive sense for more. So, you know, there are many entrepreneurs, many startups coming up and disrupting the ecosystem, both in the CEE region and internationally. Also, which is very important for Stripe, we see a lot of tech talent and developers. There's over 1 million developers in CEE. And here we are actually building products for the whole world. Hopefully one day we will be building more products for CEE companies than for international companies, and that's a big ambition of the whole tech ecosystem. But yeah, we are a place where products are built, where the developer talent is based. And finally, something that in one way works to our disadvantage, and on the other hand, it works to our advantage, is that CEE is very fragmented. We have more than 20 markets. We have 3 alphabets. So you know, it's very difficult to bite it as one for companies that are expanding to CEE, because each market is different and you have to adjust to local conditions. But for companies which are founded in CEE, they cannot just grow in their home market because it's too small to really scale the business. So they have to go international from day one. Extreme case are countries like Estonia, where you have 2 million people, and if you really want to build a unicorn business, you have to go international from day one. But also in Czech Republic, also in Poland, companies are going international within the region, and there is also a number of companies that are successful in the US. So even though it's a lot of hardship, I think long term it pays to our favor, because we really have to think like broader when we are building a product.
And I absolutely think that all the people who are watching us right now knows what is a Stripe. But since we are here for the startup founders, it would be great if you can pitch us what is Stripe.
Absolutely. So at Stripe, we are growing the GDP of the internet, and we are building the payments infrastructure for online businesses to take payments wherever they want, whichever payment methods their customers want to use. And I'm sure that that there are many payments companies in the market. How we are different? The biggest difference is that we believe that answer to all challenges related to payments lies in code. That's why we focus on abstracting all the complexity for our users in the API. So you have a single API to work across markets, across payment methods, and you just have to integrate with the API, and automatically everything happens in the background. The payments ecosystem is highly regulated. It has also a lot of technical complexities, a lot of legal complexities, and we just abstract all that. You don't have to worry. You just come to us, open an account, a merchant account, and within 5 minutes you can start taking payments from wherever you want in the world. So that's Stripe in a nutshell.
Thank you. And are you as well supporting like the e-currencies as well, or only like the usual ones?
We played a little bit with e-currencies, but we learned very quickly that they are too volatile to make them a good payment currency in the ecosystem, because from the moment when someone makes the payment to the moment when you are settling the payment with the merchant, the value of the currency can change so much that we really had like a lot of issues with reconciling that, and for some time we have actually parked that effort. But we played with that, and we were, I think, one of the first companies looking at Libra, and that was interesting for us. But for now, we are sticking to regular currencies issued by national banks.
Okay, and once I was preparing as well myself, we were discussing in the team this cool event. We were just there was pop up one question. What actually what is the meaning of the name Stripe?
So we used to be called differently. When Patrick and John founded the company, it was called Dev/Payments. Mm-hmm. So very, very techy name, but then we very quickly learned that it's not practical. And there was a number of names being considered. And at a certain point, our founders settled for Stripe. Just they couldn't come up with anything better. And Stripe, I think it comes from the magnetic stripe that you have on the credit card. So when you swipe the card, when you make the payment, although online you don't swipe anything, it still kind of like represents the payment method that is very popular globally.
Okay, and as you as well describe the Stripe as a service that Stripe lets people start accepting payments online instantly without having to deal with the legacy payment infrastructure built for pre-internet businesses. It's such a simple concept, So, but why do you think that none of the current payment platforms offer that kind of services?
Making complex things seem to be easy is really difficult. And there are multiple layers of complexity, as I just described. There is the regulatory level, the legal level, also product level. You have multiple payment rails. Historically, what merchants had to do when they wanted to accept payments in multiple countries, they had to country by country integrate with different payment processors, and they also had to integrate payment method by payment method. What we want to offer them, and what we offer is, when you open a merchant account in Czech Republic, you can use all the payment methods that we have available globally. So if your customers are from Netherlands, they have a local payment method called Ideal over there, which is more popular than cards. And if you want to offer this payment method, you don't have to deal directly with Ideal or with any sort of like Dutch payment processor. You just enable Ideal with one click in your Stripe dashboard, or you enable pay by link payments with Przelewy 24 for Poland, also very easily. So it's a lot of complexity and a lot of heavy lifting that we have to do in the background to abstract this complexity to the level that is digestible for developers. And when they make an API call to create a payment, they don't really care what the payment method is. That they very easily they can either choose a card or a bank transfer or a wallet, whatever works. So because abstracting complexity is so difficult, and then we take this complexity from the users. That's why not or none companies actually are able to offer what we offer. A good example is Stripe Atlas. That's the service that enables you to open a company in the US. If you are, for example, somewhere where Stripe is not available yet, you can just open a company in Delaware, and it costs $500. We do most of the heavy lifting for you. And initially, what we heard from the lawyers when we came up with the idea, they said, lawyers outside of Stripe, they said it's impossible. But then our lawyers they stepped into the role of the engineer, and they have engineered the legal side of the product in a way that we can actually allow companies from all over the world to set up a legal entity in the US. So for example, if you have a lot of customers there, you just open a legal entity with Stripe and you can serve them locally with the local acquiring setup in the US, just as an example.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's actually interesting, as you were, starting with the payment method, but after that, basically you founded the new product around establishing the company in US. So, would you say that all like the culture and mentality in the Stripe is so more, let's say, supportive in terms of like startups, constantly bringing new ideas, and if there is any, such a strong motive for some group of the users, you are really don't hesitate and start to test, and maybe bring another new product which makes sense to the people.
Absolutely, and the number of startups that work with us is one of our key metrics internally. We are actually tracking how many startups which are funded are working with Stripe. And historically, we have seen that many users, which are now our largest users, have started with us as a startup. So Shopify was a startup when they came to us, and they also asked us, how can we use Stripe to offer payments to our customers? And there was no product around that at that time, but we worked with them and we came up with something called Stripe Connect, which is one of our most successful products, which help platforms and marketplaces to take payments for on behalf of their customers, on behalf of their merchants. One thing is that, by working with startups, you can build a user base that after some time is like, a lot of big companies. And then on the other side, these guys are at the forefront of the technological development, and they are super challenging. And things to satisfy startups, it's really hard work. So by working with them, we are actually making sure that Stripe is at the forefront of the payment technology, and then the startups are always like the most important part of our audience. Having said that, we also have a lot of enterprise users, and they realize that things that startups develop with us are actually useful for them as well, and they use them to play catch up and to kind of catch up with startups which are trying to overtake them. So we are kind of like, serving both user groups, and both of them take benefits of our product.
And what kind of startups would you say that is the majority in terms of the industry? From what industry, what kind of products? With what kind of products the startups are coming to you and starting to using this payment method? It's more like the e-commerce overall, or are there any specifics? Maybe any like different special cases from your perspective?
We have a lot of SaaS businesses. We have a lot of SaaS platforms that offer payments to their customers. We have a lot of on-demand economy companies like Lyft. We have a lot of marketplaces. Amazon works with us. Also retail. Typically, it would be users that not only need payments, but they also need some supporting features. For example, like Stripe billing to manage their subscriptions, or Connect, which I mentioned before, to manage payment flows within their platform or marketplace. But we work also with users that just want to take card payments, and they come to us for simplicity, speed, transparency, things like this.
And could you give us maybe some examples, of those startups in Czech Republic and Slovakia?
Sure. So in Czech Republic, we work with a company called Muse Systems, and they offer software for hotels. And actually, with that software, hotels can also take payments. So they benefit from that. They use Stripe Connect to offer payments to the hotels that are using their software. But we also work with startups like Product Board and a lot of small and medium businesses that are just selling their products online.
And what would you say, let's say during the COVID situation, what kind of startups you could see that maybe they jumped, on the platform, and what kind of services they really started to use? What was the prime?
So what we saw essentially was years of digital transformation happening within weeks or months. And there was like a sudden move of all kinds of businesses to online. And we have seen this in number of signups to Stripe, which basically doubled. So it was also challenging for us to take that amount of new business and to be able to quickly onboard them on the platform, verify them, and let them take payments. And very often we have seen that was transformational for those businesses. We had event companies that from overnight their business stopped existing because there were no more live events. And then suddenly they started innovating and they came up with live events, and they realized that instead of 500 tickets, they sell 5,000 tickets. And they thought, okay, probably this is like, initially it was like a disaster, but then their business has actually thrived. We have seen companies that were building decorations for events out of cardboard. So not cardboard, like wood, kind of like MDF stuff. And they couldn't deliver that to anyone because no one wanted that anymore. So they started doing very simple furniture, like desk to work from home. And they started selling this on Stripe, so kind of like saving their life. And these were really heartwarming stories. When you look at our user base, we have seen businesses that facilitate remote life thrive. So home delivery of food was booming. Telemedicine was booming. Companies like Zoom is our user. It was also like going through the roof. On the other hand, you have businesses that required in-person interaction, and these were going to almost to zero. We saw challenges in the travel industry. Because we were diversified for Stripe, it didn't have such an impact. But we have seen many users to be on the winning side, and some of the users being on the losing side.
I would like to right now jump as well to some of the questions, because there is some more and more coming. And we have one startup who actually has a question. Our startup will have a lot of micropayments, mostly under €5, mixed with micro subscriptions, 15 till €50 a year. How does Stripe compete in this space?
So we have a special pricing plan for micropayments, because when you have micropayments, this fixed part of the fee can weigh a lot. So we would adjust that.
Okay, and could you say like what are, for example, the percentage of the fee, for these micropayments, or maybe a range, or?
Yes, actually, I can.
Because I believe that this is something what maybe will be interesting, more startups, how what are some numbers behind it?
Yeah, I think it's like 5% plus €5. But let me double check that. Let's go to the next question, and I will get back to you. Okay.
Okay. Or what we can do, maybe at the end we'll take all the questions, and guys, we for you who registered, we'll put let's say the answers to the to these Q&As, and we can share it afterwards in the email if you want. So this is what we can do as well. But if you'll find it, just tell us. Okay. As well, there is a questions if does Stripe integrate bank transfers as well as card payments?
We have bank transfers like SEPA, credit transfer, SEPA direct debit. SEPA is only in euro, so it's more relevant probably for Czech Republic, for Slovakia, not that much for the Czech Republic. But if you have customers in other markets, they can pay with SEPA, and you can take this money and settle it to a euro account. So, for example, if you have users in Germany, and in Germany everything is direct debit, you just give access to your bank account, give mandate, and payments are taking regularly monthly, you can let your German customers pay with SEPA. We don't have those instant bank transfers available in Czech Republic. I know they are popular in the market. We have them available in Poland with Przelewy 24.
Okay, and once I was, thinking about your product as well, the overall marketplace and other like the competitors, where is actually, the overlap of Stripe and PayPal, and how would you, define some differences, and what is the where are those?
Both are payment companies, and both have solved a huge pain point. And that's why both were successful and are successful. The difference is that we don't strive to have a consumer-facing brand. So when you work with Stripe, we don't have any sort of relationship with your customers. We actually want to be in the background, and we want your logo, your brand to be at the forefront. So when you use Stripe checkout, you put your logo, your color coding, everything there. And there is just like a small line to make sure that this looks secure and to build trust, like this is powered by Stripe, but this is like just at the very end. It's all about you. So we work with businesses, with merchants. We don't aspire to have relationship or take over a relationship with your customers.
Yeah, I think that this is actually a good point, because there's so many other services where they are branding themselves instead, of supporting their basically clients, to more support the sales of the services of them. So this is definitely a good one.
By the way, I found pricing for microtransactions in Czech Republic. Okay. So for transactions below €5, we charge 5% plus 1.3 Czech koruna. For comparison, for a transaction above €5 for a domestic card, we would charge €1.4 plus 6.5 koruna. So kind of like the fixed part is much bigger. Or for international cards, 2.9% plus 6.5 Czech koruna. So like the proportion of the fixed and variable is changed, and especially if you are like somewhere around €2, €1 per transaction, I don't know, e-mobility or something like this, the micro pricing makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long actually, usually take to start using the Stripe as a payment method? Because this is from my own experience when we strike, and help to some of the startups to set the payment methods here in Czech with the banks. And someday it will really take a couple of weeks, and it's not so easy to get it. If you, for example, of course, don't have any like the relationships or a previous experience. So how time consuming, is to set everything, well and start using Stripe?
5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Really? Okay, I'll try it afterwards. Okay, 5 minutes, you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. As easy as that. And it's for free until you start taking payments. So you can play around with everything, see the user interface, make some test transactions. It's actually very easy because there's like a small toggle on the left. You can switch from production to test mode. And you can really play around with all the products that we have.
Okay. We as well have some partnership with Stripe. So guys, if you are really interested, in to start Stripe, or you are already using it, there are some of the benefits, to supporting startups. So please just direct message to us on Startup Disrupt, and we'll be more than happy, to share it with you. Okay. Yeah, there is another questions. What requirements for startup marketplace? Is it true that I need to have a company in US?
No, you don't. You can have a platform account in Czech Republic or wherever that Stripe is available, currently 39 countries, and your merchant account, so companies that connect to your platform, can be also in any of those countries. So you could have platform account in Czech Republic and then merchants in Poland, Romania, Germany, Austria, wherever Stripe is available. And then we would facilitate transfers, like money from customers coming to your platform. You take a fee, and then you pass the rest to the connected account of your merchant.
And with this is connected another question, actually, because which I'm personally really interested. How could you receive online payments from China, for example, or even the Russia? If there are any like regulatory stuff or any like the limits, how this is working?
Yeah. So as a merchant, you can receive payments from over 130 countries in almost 200 currencies. So there are really not that many limitations. Maybe if you want to take payments from North Korea or some countries which are under sanctions, that would be an issue. But like if your customer is in Russia or in China, you can take payments from them. The only thing that where our global footprint and availability is limiting is where you can have your merchant account and where you can settle the transaction. Because if your user pays in, like if you present a price on your website to a user in Russia in rubles, we will take payments in rubles, but then you may have, for example, an account with Stripe in Czech koruna or in euro, and then we will have to convert this amount. But you may as well like present prices in euro to Russian customers, and then the Russian customer would have to pay in euro and then take the cost of the currency exchange, and then euro amount goes straight to your Stripe account in euro. So there is no currency conversion.
Okay, this is really important ones. I wanted to ask what is the conversion rate there for these. So this is great. And since the Stripe is so huge success, with the connection to the investors who back it, like Sequoia Capital and others, I don't know, even from your perspective at Head of CEE, do you see or do you feel from your conversation internally in the company that the investors has some, are somehow affecting as well as Stripe's strategy from this perspective?
We are operating in an industry where there is so much to be done that we are fully aligned, both Stripe management and the supervisory board, which is being appointed by our investors. And it's like there's a full alignment on the objective. The online economy is just few percent of the overall commerce space. So there is a lot of work to be done, and really, like at this early stage, there is full alignment. So we are building for the long term. We know that we haven't won yet. Of course, there are some tactical decisions, but these are taken by our management team. Strategic decisions like we want to build infrastructure for online businesses, and there is full alignment on this.
Okay, and so what is from your perspective, the vision and the future of Stripe? Where you are heading? What are, for example, some what is the vision? What are some cool products on its way in the following years?
Yeah, with Stripe, it's always a tension, because there are things that may not be super sexy, but we have to build them, like things that we called GPTN, Global Payments and Treasury Network. This is essentially the infrastructure, the pipes for moving money around the world. And we wanted to cover with that, like we want to cover all countries, all payment methods. And we are just starting, like we're available in almost 40 countries with close to 30 payment methods, and there are many more. But this is like somewhere in the background, and this is not something that makes people super excited when you tell them that you build GPTN, but it's very important for our users. And a lot of features are actually built in that. But then, next to building this, the foundation, there are also some new products that we are launching. So, we recently launched Stripe Issuing, which is coming to Europe now. And with Issuing, you can issue virtual or physical cards with API. So imagine you can start issuing cards for your business partners, for your customers. And there are many use cases for that. Stripe Terminal, also a new product, expanding globally. Corporate card, Stripe Capital, so offering loans to businesses who are on Stripe, because we see their transactions and we can do credit risk underwriting much better than banks can do, because they don't have that view and real understanding of the real condition of the business. Like we do credit risk underwriting for all our users, because we have to understand the risk of their business. So there is always this tension, like build more new things or just do the payments very well. And there is always kind of like stretch between those two, and we try to kind of like work with both.
You mentioned terminals. So is it like in the near future that the Stripe terminals will be available, for example, as well to the Czech Republic and Slovakia customers?
I hope so. And I'm really pushing on the product team, and I'm really kind of like taking all the user cases. Like if you would like to use it, let us know, because then I would just go back to the product guys and tell them, look, there are so many users here. You better launch it here. I hope it will be somewhere in 2021, early in 2021. Initially, we will launch in Western European countries, but it's coming. And we really want to kind of offer this so your customers can have omni-channel experience. So, for example, if they buy something online in a physical store, the same card can be saved and used for online purchases. Or if you buy something online, you can go to the physical store and return it. So kind of like connecting towards is also part of our strategy.
And this one is actually good. Is Stripe a good solution for non-profit organizations? Do you differentiate the gift fee from the donors? The fee seems to be high for micropayments.
So we don't have yet in Europe a non-for-profit pricing. Usually it's slightly reduced price plans, but we don't have it in Europe yet, and we are working on bringing it here.
And is this something like on discussion that if, for example, there is any particular like non-profit organization that they can contact you as a Stripe to tell the situation and case by case to discuss?
Of course, I mean we can always discuss case by case, but what I had in mind was like out-of-the-shelf pricing plan for non-for-profit organization, and this is still in the works.
Okay. And right now, I would like to ask you, because I can see that many people is asking as well, about your, let's say, insight, and thoughts about the current situations, on the fintech market, and especially in CEE, with the Wirecard situation. So what are your thoughts, and how do you think about this?
So the last few days, weeks were really busy for us because of what happened with Wirecard, and we were trying to help as many users as possible that were coming to us and really wanted to move their business quickly, so there is no disruption for us. It has also shown that trust is super important in this industry, and making sure that your users are comfortable kind of basing their business, right? Because if payments don't work, like your whole business stops. You cannot take money from your customers. So it's a fundamental decision whom you will trust and who will be handling money of your customers on your behalf. And I believe that, this trust factor will be more and more important. It won't be like, any processor or processor that offers lowest rates. It will be, who are they actually? Are they a direct acquirer? So, we have a lot of competition in the region where they are just gateways. So behind them, there is an acquirer. So when the transaction takes place, the card information goes through the gateway to the acquirer, to the card network, to the issuing bank. So like there are many handovers in the process. So actually the gateway doesn't have full transparency on what happens with the transaction along the way, and cannot offer fraud protection, cannot offer authorization right optimization, things like this. And then we have also seen processors that had Wirecard as an acquirer. So they were a gateway and Wirecard was the acquirer, and overnight the whole kind of like payments processing company kind of stopped, and all their users couldn't process payments, and they had to look for backup solutions. And some of them started working with Stripe to set it up very quickly. Payment processors. So I think these are like the biggest lessons, that, trust will be important, reliability will be important, and then people will be really checking how their payment processor is set up, and, how reliable is, what's the uptime. In our case, it's 99.999%. There are no major API incidents at Stripe.
And who is responsible for managing tax payments? Does Stripe has any involvement in this?
We don't have a tax product yet. There are some, like, this is probably one of the areas where we could have something, because many users are asking us, like, how do you help us manage tax if we have international business and update the tax rates? There are solutions like, for example, Avalara that you can plug into Stripe, and they are available on our website. So you can just go there and look for a tax solution, and then you can very easily integrate this, and it will feed information about taxes to Stripe.
Okay, and another questions. I think that, this is a blast. So many questions are arising, so I would like to jump on them.
Great.
So can you tell us a bit more about how Stripe Connect supports platform type businesses? We want to sell both our own services and services of our customers, B2B, B2C.
Yes. So in a nutshell, you will be able to offer services, your services or services of your merchants to end customers. The end customer will just like see the checkout, but then after the transaction takes place, money will go through your platform, either stop in the platform and then being transferred and paid out to the merchant, or go directly to the merchant with one API call. So you don't have to worry about, managing pay-ins and payouts separately. For you, it's just one API call, either so-called direct charge, money passing like directly to the connected account of your merchant, of your B2B customer, or with a destination charge, which parks the money first on your platform and then pays it out. Or we can do, separate those two things, and then you can, for example, send part of the money to one partner and other part of the money to the other partner with separate charges and transfers. So you have full flexibility of actually architecturing this money flow within your platform. What our product also does is onboarding of merchants on your platform, because there are know your customer, KYC regulations, anti-money laundering, AML regulations, sanctions list. Like whenever you onboard people to take payments, this has to be done in a compliant way because you are handling money. You cannot onboard frauds on your platform, and we are checking this. So depending on the country and depending on the legal entity that you are onboarding, whether it's a single proprietorship or it's a company, and we will come up with a list of documents, information that we have to collect. You can collect this for us, and then we will do this in the background so we can fully white label the solution, and the user wouldn't even see that Stripe is in the background.
And now, let's jump into something less technical. Have you ever tried, or at least considered trying to start your own thing, and why?
I was an angel early investor in a business started by my brother, and I was, his consigliere, let's say, and then supporting him as an advisor. I don't know. For me, it's a gradual thing. I started as a consultant, so I was advising, and I wasn't really living with the decisions that were taken. Then I did like the first step, going on the other side of the table. I joined Google, so I was in business. I wasn't in consulting. I was in real business and real decisions and real politics, but a very big organization. The next step was Stripe, it's not like Google, which is 150,000 employees. Stripe is 3,000, mostly engineers. So it's already a big shift. The organization moves much faster. And who knows, maybe one day I will grow into the decision of finding something by myself, maybe with my brother when he sells his startup.
Okay, and what he's doing? What is the subject, of the business of your brother?
He has a home and living marketplace called Yestersen, and he offers vintage and high quality furniture from both vintage merchants and from contemporary merchants.
Okay, and we have from Jakub Zimola, you've recently raised $600 million Series G. So what led you to raise this round?
We are in a very comfortable situation. We have a very strong backing from our investors. So we really weren't forced to raise any money, but we have also seen that the economic situation after COVID may present us with a lot of opportunities to invest on our own and to expand. And we wanted to be able to make those decisions easily. So we needed to have some financial backing to double down on the expansion. So we thought that companies that are in those difficult times have the ability to invest, double down on country coverage, payment methods, launching new products, will be the winners in long term, and we wanted to be on the winning side.
Okay, makes sense. And does Stripe actually have any partners in Czech Republic? I don't know, how people think this in terms of maybe integration, on different platforms, or maybe it's connected to the support. So what do you think?
We have different partners, and it's all about partnering here at Stripe. We have startup partners like Startup Disrupt, like Credo Ventures, like Startup Yard. Their companies, their networks, their ecosystems can benefit from some advantages, what you just advertised on the show. So that's one type of partners. We also have partners that enable us to reach users at scale. And we build those partnerships with with Stripe Connect. So you can open a platform account, and for example, if your business is about offering online shops to small and medium businesses or large businesses, you can create a platform account, integrate Stripe, and offer this integration very easily to your users and make money on it. Either by having a revenue share or in a white label model, you can aggregate their total payments volumes. We give you a good rate as a platform, and then you can make money on the difference between your platform fees that you pay to Stripe and what you charge your users. This is how Shopify is working with us. So that kind of partnerships are fundamental for us to scale in the market, because we cannot talk to every customer. And I'm really looking for such partners also in Czech Republic and in Slovakia. So like shop builders, accounting companies, accounting software, or any other platform where it makes sense to kind of like start managing payments for your customers and start monetizing this part of your business. Increase also stickiness of your product, because when you do payments for your customers, your product is really sticky. It's not like someone can switch overnight. Just take their shop from Presta to Magento. It's like it's really embedded in the business.
And what do you actually think about Czech and Slovak startup ecosystem? Are there any like the surprises about these markets for you?
Best beer in the world.
Which one?
Czech, of course. Czech
like
beer.
Overall Czech, or you have any like the particular in mind?
I remember, Zlatý Bažant is Slovak, right?
Yeah, I think this is Slovak.
Zlatý Bažant is Slovak. I remember this from my youth, when we had school trips to Slovakia, sneaking a bottle somewhere in the back. But being serious, few things. The market is really developed and mature. I have to say there are many well-established VC funds, and there are also some founders which are already thinking about their next investment, because they have cashed in with their first startup, and now they are moving as either angel investor or they are thinking about the next step, like the next startup to found. So it's great to see that the first wave has already kind of like passed, and now there's like a space for the second and third wave, because this is kind of what makes the whole ecosystem mature. Like the money is being made and money is being reinvested. And I'm also super, maybe it's not the good word to say surprised, but there's a lot of interest in Stripe. Like when I checked every morning messages from potential users, I would say like 2 out of 5 are from Czech Republic and Slovakia. So there is huge interest from those markets in using Stripe, and not only from startups, not only from SMB users, but also from large enterprises. I mean, I cannot drop names right now because we are not working with them yet. We are still in the conversations, but it's really great to see that companies see value and they would like to understand how we can help them to grow. And everyone is super helpful. Like people doing introductions, helping each other, and I love that. It's like a startup community that is giving back. It's not only people showing up at the event and then taking their stuff and going back home, but actually people are helping each other, and you have a lot of this camaraderie and a lot of good vibes and good beer.
And how do you actually, thinking about the startups, in terms that right now you are the head of CEE, at Stripe. So how do you think about startups? What values do you see there?
Startups are fundamental for our business for the reasons I mentioned previously. Our largest users started with us as startups. They push us to the limits in terms of our product and what the product can do, and help us to innovate. We want to work with as many of you as possible. You are the salt of this earth. So don't get discouraged if you see also big enterprise customer logos on our website. All these guys started small, and in many cases started with us.
And we have a related question. What is your definition of startup?
So we are defining this from two perspectives. One perspective is number of employees, and another is how much revenue the company is generating and how much it's processing in terms of payments. These are confidential because it's our internal segmentation, but startup would be something that is like still at the beginning of the scale, but different from small business, because startup is a technology company, and if it's funded by a VC fund, it's even better. It's kind of like making it even more interesting for us, because we know that someone really looked at the business and believes in it and like put money into it. So there is potential that this business will grow fast, and together with that business will also be growing.
Okay, and since
may I ask a question? Actually,
yeah,
may
absolutely.
I ask a question? So
sure.
Because I have a question like how we can be more helpful. What are the things? Maybe you had a look at what Stripe does, what we offer on the Czech market, what is missing, what we should be building. What are the things that you are currently missing from your payment processor that you are using and you would like to have to kind of make you more successful? So if you could drop us some hints in the live comments section, just I would be very happy to see that.
I can already see that some of the comments are that people are really like curious for a Stripe terminal in Czech Republic.
Okay.
That if there is any like the list, where they can sign, and once there will be any updates around this one product, so this we can share with you, the proper guys who are interested, with you, Martin, afterwards. So
Great.
maybe
Great.
There is something like this.
Happy to hear that.
Okay, and what would be your golden message to our audience, to all the startup founders and, innovators, investors? What would be your golden message to the audience?
That's a difficult one, because it's difficult to generalize, but I would say, we all come from smaller countries, and we come from countries which were historically had to play the catch-up game and still have to play a catch-up game. But when I look at the products which are built outside, like in US, they are not fundamentally better. So I would say we are able to build a superior product. We just have to make sure that we are able to sell it. Products don't sell themselves, so don't find yourself in a position where you have the best product in the world, but no one knows about it. And remember about the monetization part, the go-to-market strategy part. And there are many partners in the ecosystem that can help you with that. There are many mentors. I'm sure you do a lot of education around that as well in Startup Disrupt, Patrick. So kind of remember about the commercial part, and if you play it well, you could be the next Shopify or next Uber in a positive sense.
Okay, and I can see, I think the verse to mention another feedback for you, Marcin. Enabling cashback would be great regarding to your questions, of the features what Czech, customers, maybe potential customers.
You mean returns? It's okay. Let's connect on LinkedIn. You will find me on LinkedIn, and we can talk more about this to understand what you have in mind.
Yeah, and we'll share the LinkedIn profile for Marcin afterwards in the follow-up email after this event. So you can check it, you can get in touch with him, and I believe that he will help you as much as he can.
Or you can just drop me an email. It's my first name, marcin@stripe.com.
So it's like this, right?
Yes, that's me. You can find me there.
Amazing. So thank you very much, Marcin, for your time, for this amazing
It was a pleasure.
call. And actually, this was more like the call about the technical side, as well about the business and your view. But I think because the Stripe, it is not so like famous here. So I believe that many people are right now, in the phase that they are as you mentioned, they are interested in this product, in this service, and they need to a bit educate, what all services, what everything where you are able to help them. So if we should talk, what was this event about? I think it was about some characteristics of CEE region as it is in terms of business development, but as well in terms of the startups, as well in the terms of the users who are using services like Stripe. As well, if you are interested, why and how can a Stripe be beneficial for you? Absolutely, check this video, or just jump to discussion with Marcin, or on the email which you can see down there, or on the LinkedIn, and how you can take advantage of the all features what Stripe is offering. Once more, Marcin, thank you very much that you join us.
Thank you.
And for you guys, if you are interested, we are as well preparing our next event in the end of this month, which will be about female leaders. We'll has the guests like Daniela Pešková, Elena Zatlouková, and many others. So if you are interested in this topic, please just join us. This one will be one of the first official offline event in Hub here in Prague. So absolutely welcome and join us, and enjoy the rest of your day, and see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.